How's it going, everybody? Derek from Make Media Studios, and today I'm here with Justin Odisho. Is someone that I've been following for a long time and used tons of his tutorials on YouTube to create the content that I've created for my customers and here on my YouTube channel. How's it going, Justin?
Hey, Derek. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. Hey, it's really great to talk to you. Like I said, I've watched so many of your tutorials, and your name and your voice, your intro, I think I've heard a million times. I didn't realize how many times I've watched your tutorials until like just recently Googling something again, like a random Premiere Pro or After Effects tip I needed, and you came up. And I feel like every time I look up for something on Google, your video comes up. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wanted you to let everyone know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So yeah, my name's Justin Odisho. I started a YouTube channel in around 2011 just because I enjoyed sharing videos. But I started just sharing Photoshop tips because it was a hobby of mine. And then eventually it evolved to sharing photo editing, video editing, and a lot of the video editing stuff really took off around 2017. And at this point, yeah, I have like 700 plus videos on my channel covering almost every single topic you could think of in like the big Adobe softwares like Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop. But I also like to share some other interests on my channel and whatnot. But that's probably why most people would recognize my name or know me is from teaching these editing softwares online.
Yep. I think everyone probably knows your voice there, a voiceover with you explaining how to do some tutorials. But you also have a podcast, which I've been seeing some of the episodes from that, and that looks really cool. How long have you been doing the podcast?
Yeah. I also have expanded into different things. So I think I started the podcast in 2017-ish as well.
Okay.
It's not been my main focus, but it's been fun. I've interviewed on the other end of the interview like 30 or so people. I've got like 30 or so episodes up. Mm-hmm. And I recently just started doing a bunch more on Zoom, so that's been cool. And yeah, I'm always expanding and trying different things because I do like to share more than just like how to export and whatnot. But
yeah,
just keeping it going day by day.
I understand. So on this channel here, I'm at like maybe 60 videos, right? And I started at the beginning of the pandemic, and I do tutorials. And that's what I started making those because I watched a lot of tutorials. What got you into making tutorials?
So, like I said, we're talking about 2011. It was a long time ago on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I just enjoyed. My older brother had downloaded, I think, After Effects and Photoshop or something, and we used to play a lot of video games. And when you go online and hang out around these video game forums and websites, there's always like a graphics and art section. And so mm-hmm. I got into the hobby of like just using these programs and editing designs and photos and making little video clips mm-hmm. and motion graphics. And YouTube came out in like 2006-ish or something like that. And I just kind of enjoyed making videos and uploading them, but I was making videos about whatever and, using copyright music and whatever. And I was getting copyright claimed and my channels were getting deleted. And so I thought, well, what can I like posting. I like sharing stuff mm-hmm. and getting feedback, but what can I post that is not going to get taken down? And I noticed there was a bit of a community around like Photoshop mm-hmm. help and Photoshop tips and stuff. And I felt like I was decent at Photoshop. And so I thought, why don't I just make some cool designs and show how to do them in Photoshop? That seems like it wouldn't get taken down.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I did that. I got a decent small positive reaction, and then I just kept doing it every week for some reason. Like I wasn't making money. I didn't have a big plan about it, mm-hmm. but it just started from enjoying to do that. And
that initial
10
growth,
years later now,
that initial growth you had, were you posting the videos on these game channels and stuff like that for people to look at them, or how did you get that first, grab into finding an audience?
Okay, so there wasn't like a huge initial growth, and honestly, but what I would do is I would post like a Photoshop tutorial, then I'd go on all the popular forums, and I'd share my link, and I'd say, if any of you guys want to learn how to do this in Photoshop, I just did this.
Right.
Sometimes it would get, it wouldn't really get huge reactions, but I was like doing my best at that little bit of growth hacking.
Yeah.
So, like instinctively. But I think in the first year of my channel, I think I got 2,000 subscribers in the first year. So it wasn't like, it's not bad, but it wasn't like a massive explosion.
But also for what? YouTube, you think that YouTube 9 years ago, you think that getting 2,000 subscribers in a year, I think that means a lot more than now getting 2,000 subscribers in a year.
I think there's definitely some sort of inflation at play. Yeah, like 100,000 subscribers now is like just getting started, and 100,000 subscribers back then is like the top of the top.
This is the biggest people on there.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely inflation there.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I definitely do. I post my videos on different forums right now, and that's kind of my initial growth. You know, I'm still low. I'm still starting out, but I'm also trying to make sure I make content that I enjoy and just make it for myself. I think that's a good starting point for people, at least.
Yeah. Well, I think this is an interesting point. Like, I don't know exactly what it is that has allowed me to, like, you have to be really scrappy and like really like do so much to grow on YouTube. And I don't know if I would come on here and tell everyone to start a YouTube channel and try to grow on YouTube and whatever. It might not be for everyone, but I do think if you examine it in the right way, it is just another platform for you to share, connect with people. Like, here I am connected with you. I don't really care about how many subscribers you have or whatever, but you know, like, I would have never connected with you if it were not for you finding my videos or you reaching out to me because you saw my videos, or if someone saw your videos. So it all depends if you adjust your goals, and if your end goal isn't like getting as many views and subscribers as possible, but you know, changing your perspective to something more achievable, it could still help. Because my initial goal was just to have fun, sharing online.
Yeah, sharing something that you enjoyed to create and just had fun with it. And I agree with that. I think that's definitely, well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. What do you think advice for people, and I guess you kind of said it a little bit, but advice for people wanting to start a YouTube channel here in 2021 versus, you know, what do you think advice for them?
I could still give more advice though. So like, yeah, so the intention and the perspective, like, ask yourself why you're starting. Like, I happen to turn it into a business like 10 years down the line, and you know, just approach it differently. So now I still have fun doing it, but it's like a mix of fun and work, you know? But I would say to people, when you have to come into it with the right intentions, it's not easy at all. Like, honestly, it's much easier probably to just like work in a business or work a job or whatever. If your goal is to make money or get a bunch of views, it truly is. But I still think YouTube is early. Like, I wouldn't discourage anyone. I wouldn't discourage anyone from starting, though. There's still a lot of rewarding aspects that come with sharing your work online, and one of them is like connecting with a community of like-minded people. The other thing that goes with, don't get on YouTube and try to make stuff that seems popular, because then you're defeating the whole purpose. Like, the whole purpose would be, because here I am now, I've got a huge community of people who are into video and photo, and if I was never into creating in video and photo, what would I care to have this community? Right. You know, it's not my interest. So yeah, there's just a few things you want to start with the end in mind with, but just, I guess, give it a shot.
Give it a shot, have fun with it, and then definitely make what you enjoy, because then you'll get a community revolving around content you enjoy, or that you're creating, you know. I mean, definitely, I agree with, don't go into it for the subscribers. Don't go into it for the views or the money, because you have to be just doing it for fun. Like, so for me, I'm doing this on the side because, you know, I have my freelance business on the side that I do for my money, and then this is just my free time because it's Sunday right now, and then I'm here talking with you.
And I guess you can go into it with more of a business mindset. Like, you don't. Yeah. It can be a business, but like I said, that you have to be a certain type of person, and I mean, there's tons of it. I have a small playlist on my channel called How to Grow on YouTube where I get into analytics and do stuff, and I might share more videos like that. But it's like one thing I was talking about with a guest I had on my podcast, they do like music journalism, and I asked them, why should anyone care about your opinion over anyone else's as starting out as like a nobody?
Yeah.
And they had a good answer that I agree with. It's like, you have to be providing in the beginning, you have to be providing some sort of value. This is why tutorials work so well, as opposed to just saying like, look at this cool design I can do.
Yeah.
It's saying, let me show you how to do something. Because really in the beginning, people care, like 90% of it is what can I get from you, not what can I give you. So if you spend all of your time basically just serving people, serving existing communities, like I didn't invent 1 million people that want to learn the Adobe softwares or video. There just is like millions of people who are into editing and cameras.
Right.
And I just said, let me help these people as much as I can and literally try to provide every single solution to every single question I can come up with.
Yeah.
And that has worked for me because I had some skill in that. But I didn't just, otherwise you have to be, you have to be very, very good to just get a following purely for your opinions or your entertainment value or your,
it's true.
Artistic
If you look
value.
at like the difference between like tutorial style and then like vlog style, right? Like, like David Dobrik and things like that, is just a group of friends that do extreme activities that people want to watch. And it's very clickbaity, and it's great stuff. I enjoy watching it, but it's hard to I think it's easier, like you said, or not easier, but there's a community of people that want to learn photography and Photoshop and different, editing aspects, and just trying to solve, like you said, different questions that can come up, and making a video related around those questions is definitely good. Able to serve people information. And I think educational content is a good avenue to go down. Personally, that's what I'm doing it too. So
yeah. And you have experience in the field and in the industry, so like it's not saying like try to be a teacher, but
yeah,
you have to know something yourself too. Like, and over the years, I've become a better teacher, and now I'm like I can.
Yeah.
People like the way I explain, but I wouldn't sit here and try to teach anyone how to play guitar because I am just a beginner myself. So
right,
you have to think about a lot of things.
It's hard because sometimes there's things that but then, on the side note of that, there is things I feel like I learn something new, and then like I learn something new, I ingest it, I use it, and then I recreate a video about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I learned this, I had to do this, and then let me show you how I solved this problem, and then give people that same solution. And also I think I try to make sure that people know. It's hard. One of the hard things that I haven't been able to explain to people is you just learn all these little tools and tips and tricks in these softwares, and then you use that to troubleshoot a problem later. Like you come across a problem, and then you're able to grab like half of this topic and half of this one and put them together, and you can solve that. And so like I think that's one thing that's hard to. You can't make a tutorial about that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always value from like some people might be way more technically expertise than me at like all the color science, and I might just have like a decent grasp on it, but someone might understand the way I say it
definitely
better, like if you don't know how to explain it. So I try to, there's been times where I've had to delete a video or like adjust some things because I didn't say the right thing or I had a slight misinformation, but yeah, in general, I try to make sure that what I'm saying is right, and also through, I think one of the reasons I've stayed sharp in editing is because I've woken up every day thinking about like what's the next thing I can like learn and teach about this software. So I've had to be like, to teach, you also have to be the expert. So it helps you. Teaching is one of the best ways to learn as well. So I would also recommend everyone try teaching something that they're interested in. It is a great way to learn.
It gives you a new perspective on what you know. You have to now explain it and express it to someone in a way. You were saying that you've gotten better at being a teacher. When did you realize that? Or like, what is that? Where was that change at?
I don't think it was just like a realization, but I mean, I just get tons of comments that say that the way I explained it, someone got it like really well. And I think I've heard a quote that's or something that says like, the true sign that you know something is that you're able to explain it to someone else simply. And yeah, I just think over making like 500 plus instructional videos, I've learned what to include in the video, what to cut out, because I mean, there have been times where you make a tutorial and there's all kind of different little side branches and problems that can pop up. Like in the rare case that you have a Windows 95 Mac, you have to press the Command and Shift key like this. And you learn to just go through the main branch from point A to B that will help 95% of the people, and don't waste 95% of the people's time with that 5% of like exception cases. Those people can leave a comment, or you can leave a footnote, little stuff like that you learn to be as succinct as possible, but not too succinct to where people are not understanding.
That makes sense. Maybe I definitely, I'm on a Mac myself, and I guess definitely one of the things that I can improve on is being a little bit more open-minded to the users on a Windows, because that's where I started. I did start on a Windows, and I'm only in Mac for maybe 4 years now. So it's definitely something that I think I could get better at. It's definitely explaining the command and control and all that stuff differently for them.
Yeah.
So
I still get comments like that. Yeah, you can also leave like on-screen annotations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. So when it comes to your videos, I was going to ask you, which one of your videos do you think you're like the proudest of? You know what I'm talking about? Like tutorial wise, that's probably hard to narrow down.
I mean, I guess the ones that got the most views for one.
So the transition, one of the first videos I probably saw of you was your transition videos.
Yeah, there's ones that I'm more proud of. So I'll break it down. So the transition one, I think, is my most viewed video, but I think one of my second or third most viewed videos, let me look at it, and I haven't looked at it in a while, is one called like 5 little editing tricks or something.
I'm going to pull it up on the screen here so people can see it as well as scrolling through the page here.
Okay, so yeah, my most viewed video is like a Zoom transition tutorial, which I'm proud of, but obviously that effect is like pretty popular, pretty trendy. I was just kind of hopping on the trend.
Right.
My second most viewed video, though, I guess I'm more proud of that one because it's called 5 little video editing tricks that make a big difference. And these are 5 tricks that I just kind of picked up in my years of editing, just little things that I would constantly use. I'm proud of that video because all of the footage in that video is stock footage that I took. All of the tricks I've came up with from scratch. There weren't really trends that I was pulling from. And it still managed to get like 2.3 million views, which so it really feels like I created something fully from scratch. Like I wasn't relying on
other trendy things or maybe things that you've seen other people do, but you were able to explain easier. It's something that is completely 100% your own.
Yeah. And then I guess aside from that, some things that I'm really proud of is like some of my playlists that I've made, like every effect in After Effects and every effect in Premiere explained.
Yeah, that's
were really tedious
dives.
to do. Yeah, they were really tedious. It took me a long time. Like there's like 20 episodes in each playlist, and I've literally tried to cover every single effect, which in After Effects there's like 1,000 effects, and I have videos where I demonstrate each one of those. So I mean, just the playlist on my channel, I'm proud of. Like the After Effects playlist has hundreds of it, or not hundreds, but dozens. The Premiere playlist has hundreds of videos. The Photoshop playlist has hundreds of videos. And then like the products that I've created around that too, each one of those is like one of my babies, like the effect preset packs that I've made. And yeah, just like each day I've done a little bit of work. You know, it might not be that hard each day to make a video or each week to make a couple videos, but looking back on the entire catalog now of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos is something I can be proud of.
Yeah, definitely rewarding. Making preset packs and stuff like that. I haven't dived into that myself at all. But when did you start doing that?
Actually, a long time ago, like I think the first thing I did was a Photoshop Actions pack. I can't even remember when, like when I first started, maybe even like either when I first started my channel or before.
Okay.
It was just something I did.
All right.
And then the Photoshop Actions pack kind of turned in, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It kind of turned into the LUT pack.
Okay.
And then, so I have been experimenting with like creating digital products, except for back then I didn't have my own website. So I would just sell them on like websites that sell them for you, and they choose the price for you, and you get like half the revenue. And then as I kind of relaunched my channel and gained new popularity with the video editing stuff, I again created like, well, see, when I'm making tutorials every day, and like every day I'd make a tutorial on like how to, and I would come up with these different effects and teach them in these different transitions. And so naturally I just kind of took all of those effects that I came up with and more, and just packaged them into a preset pack for people who, instead of following all the tutorials themselves, could just download this or purchase this pack and just drag and drop, use them, and save time.
That's really cool. I think that's very convenient. And I think, on a side note, on the other side of it, for a creator, that, creating content and doing a business like you are, I think it's, what is that called? It's passive income, right?
I wouldn't say it's passive, but it is passive.
Right, you still have to create it. You still have to create it, and you have to promote it.
This idea of passive income is like, it's definitely like, well, okay, it's passive in the way that like now that I've created it and put it on my website, I can make a sale while I'm sleeping. So I would say it's detached income.
Okay.
Like it's not one-to-one in tandem with your time.
Right. It's not like an Amazon affiliate. It's not like you just put a link and people click on it, you get money, right? You still have to create it, and a lot of work goes into it.
And if I don't keep making new videos and keep getting new views, it will not really continue to be passive income. So there's always some activity that you have to do, but the nice thing is you detach your time. It's not like a direct relationship from input to output. Right. You can kind of build it up, and there's more leverage involved when you're dealing with like creating a video one time, and that video can get views for years. So that is I don't know what I'd call it, but that is something cool about YouTube and sharing online.
Do you think that's definitely something you would suggest to people that are doing this avenue of tutorials and stuff?
I'd say if you want to make a business out of whatever avenue you're doing, I would say one of the most important things you can do is figuring out the monetization aspect, because it will be very, very hard for you to have a sustainable living or full-time content or YouTube business without really getting the full squeeze out of your monetization. And that includes creating some sort of useful products for the type of people that are watching your videos, courses, digital products, affiliates, brand deals. I have videos all about monetization too, but if that is your goal, Have
you tried making any type of a course? I think you did. Do you have any type of courses that you've done besides on YouTube that are like outside of it?
I have some things in the works that I want to do. Okay. Basically, like everything that I've done, I just put for free on YouTube. Right. Some of those are course level worthy, I'd say, like the Every Effect Explained and whatnot. But I just put them up for free as playlists on YouTube. In the future, I do want to make some more like really thorough courses from start to finish on like perhaps, effects or color grading or just how to use the software in general. Not because you couldn't already find basically most of it on my channel, but some people just prefer to learn in that A to Z, like hold your hand from start to finish way. And I have people ask me for it all the time. And so it's something that I want to do.
Definitely. And I think that you can get a little bit more in depth. You can give them examples and you can have them download it and work through it with you. I mean, you can still do that on YouTube, but it's definitely, if it's a course, you can connect with them closer. You can probably even have, something included in there where you're able to, Zoom call with them or do like meetings with the classes. I don't know. But there's probably there's probably a lot of potential in something like that. Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of things that I want to do.
So is what you got any 2021 goals What now we're on that list of things that we want to do. What you got?
Yeah.
You got anything you're working on here for 2021?
Well, I guess the main high goal here. I mean, subscribers don't really matter, but I think I'm at like, I want to get it to 1 million just because like I started this so long ago. I'm already like, I think I'm at like 830.
Yeah, like 860?
Yeah, I'm at like 830.
I think it was 860. No, is it 830 or 860?
It's like 830, 840.
Okay.
Something like that, which I'm really happy with.
That's
and
amazing, man.
Thank you. And subscribers don't really matter as much anymore on YouTube, but just, it's like I got this far. It's been years and years and years. I might as well just get the job done.
Right.
And like get to 1 million as best as I can. So involved in that is constantly making new videos, coming up with new, just like creating more content and just keep it going. And aside from that, I mean, I have other hobbies and interests and personal goals. Like I try to, make sure you're being healthy, getting good sleep and whatnot. Yep. Those are just like
some personal
goals. But I don't really have any like huge maniacal goals to make like millions of dollars and get 10 million subscribers and whatnot. I just kind of, I have those goals and to, be able to help people and help my friends and family and help people, watching my stuff as best as I can and just try to keep that mindset to focus on the things that are important rather than just like the subscriber number. But yeah.
When it comes to motivation, you said it's sometimes hard to make a video every week or multiple videos a week. How do you keep yourself motivated?
I think it's different at different stages. So like when you're first getting started or like, I mean, obviously my first motivation was just fun. Mm-hmm. But when you're trying to turn it into a business, it's definitely not just fun. You have to really, really work hard and make a bunch of, like really put a lot of time in. And so one motivation is just like being sick of all the different random work I was doing, the different freelance work, the different jobs and whatnot. And also just like, you have some sort of something you want to prove. Like, mm-hmm. This is when I was younger. I mean, I'm still a young guy, but I mean, I've had my channel since I was like, I don't know.
How old are you when you started your channel?
I don't know now because it's been
9 years.
I must have been like 19.
19. Okay.
I'm 28 now, so I must have been like 19. So we're talking about my whole like
20s,
early 20s mm-hmm. process. So, when you're trying to figure out what you want to do in life. So, you just want to like, you have people that will like not really respect what you're trying to do or think you're dumb or think you're crazy. And so it is nice on like that egotistic level to be like, the crazy person that was saying, no, trust me. If I just keep making videos, then this and that. And then I just wanted to get 100,000 subscribers. I thought that would be really cool. But now I'm at like 800. So that's even cooler. But at this point, I don't care about any of that anymore because you realize like you can do all the things in the world and then people really don't care or think about you that much. They'll just be like, oh, whatever, you got lucky. Or like, oh, yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Like, so you realize that's not really that satisfactory. But now it's more motivating. It's just to like really to focus on like helping people. It's cool that I'm actually helping people, especially like younger people or just, mm-hmm. I mean, in general, helping people, you being a positive
if you think about it, you've helped an entire generation now grow up watching YouTube tutorials on Photoshop and the Creative Cloud, all the creative Adobe Creative Suite. I mean, those things that's a big milestone or a big thing to be proud of. Definitely.
Yeah. That is much more motivating today. Is that I have this really amazing platform and opportunity that I don't want to squander. Don't want to waste. Because I haven't been uploading consistently throughout the whole journey of my channel. There's been years where I went to college and I had other jobs and I let it collect dust. Yeah. And I have had times where I let it collect dust, and that's what I don't want to do because I think it's really cool that I am able to help people. So sometimes I do go through ups and downs, and like times where you're feeling inspired, times where you're feeling like unappreciated or like not really making the best work. But ultimately, if I just am able to, like I kind of don't ever see myself like running out of ideas or running out of things, because I'm constantly trying new things that I still am having fun enjoying doing, but remembering that, I mean, even just from comparing to my old jobs and my old things, like what I'm doing now, I'm so lucky to be able to be doing, on top of also being able to like help people and be a positive influence on people or make people inspired or proud or teach them. So I wouldn't ever feel unmotivated to waste that.
Yeah. You're talking about the ups and downs. Do you ever have any like creative rough patches? Like you were saying, like when you feel motivated and then you don't. Like I personally, I'll be serious. I feel like I'm in a creative rough patch right now. I get those moments where it's just kind of, it's hard to just create. And then I get wrapped up in your head where you're, like, is my content good? Am I making stuff that's really viable? And all those things that go through your head because I'm diagnosing myself right now like a psychologist as I'm comparing myself to other people, right? Do you ever go through that, like creative rough patches like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like not look at views and stuff sometimes, like, and you just gotta, because like, people watch my tutorials a lot, but they don't really watch my podcast as much, and so sometimes I feel like I put a ton of work into the podcast, much more than the tutorials, and then like it just doesn't get that many views for me. Then I think like, well, I still can't be mad at 1,000 views. Like 1,000 views is really good. Or like if the watch time isn't that high, it just makes me feel like, the whole reason I made videos, the whole reason I want to make videos is so that people watch them and enjoy them. Like, so it kind of get discouraging if you aren't getting the results that you wanted. But anytime I have felt like that, like persistence has been something that, like, just having the persistence and conviction that like you are going to break through this rough patch. Because I've had channels where I've constantly had these plateaus, and I'm also kind of going through similar things right now, but it's different at this level. But when I was transitioning from like Photoshop stuff to trying to figure out what to do next, I was trying a whole bunch of different stuff, vlogs. I don't know, I was trying a bunch of different stuff, and I just wasn't getting the reaction, and people were unsubscribing because they're like, I signed up for Photoshop stuff, and now it doesn't even matter, because that was like, I knew in my head that I had the potential audience was out there. I just had to push through it. So I didn't get discouraged by like, you have to have the vision, I guess. You have to have the like absolute conviction and a vision of, and not base your vision around the reaction that you're getting today. Because I mean, if you think about it, a lot of artists, a lot of inventors, a lot of whatever really didn't get any recognition in their entire lifetime and died poor until later they got recognition or whatever. So if you're basing it based on like recognition now, one-to-one, like you put it out today, it gets good recognition tomorrow. I don't know. So that's why you got to change your process to be focused on things that you can control more, and things that you're happy to be doing, whether XYZ happens or not. But on the business side of YouTube though, you still got to look at analytics and try to figure it out. But yeah, this stuff is a balance. Definitely.
Well, hey, Justin, thank you very much for talking with me today. I think we're coming up here to the end. I was just, keep you on here for about 30 minutes. And, but no, thank you for giving me all that advice and talking to me about, the going through your history and your growth and what you've gone through. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks for everyone for listening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone, this has been another Make Media Studios podcast. This was Justin Odisho. His information is going to be down below. You probably don't need to find it there because you're probably already following him. But thank you guys all for checking it out, and have a good day.